Hello, hello, hello. You are here once again with Dave Jose, and I want to bring you some bombshell breaking news to let you see that the people are taking back over the nation, and it is beautiful. Now, what am I talking about? The people have been doing a program where we are giving out affidavits and notices around the country. It is a technique that I and Josh Barnett started in Arizona, putting governments on notice for businesses and private associations. We took it from there around the country. We then started showing the people when it came to the selection how it was to get a audit in your state. We told people from the very beginning and gave promises that people would have an audit. And guess what? Our county is in the midst of being audited right now. Now, let's take it a step further. A woman named Sophia Zori, which I showed you guys the other day, she came out and did her own set of notices to deal with the mass mandates of businesses and different issues of that nature. She showed it on her Facebook, gave notice to the governor, gave notice to the legislature. 4 days later, approximately, it ended up that the governor backed down on the mandates and said he never even made one. Pretty strange, right? Sometimes people look at stuff like that and they think it was a fluke. It was just a happenstance. You know, it wasn't really the hard work that people did. Well, we got a new, powerful, bombshell testimony today from one of the fighters in Minnesota, and it is beautiful. Now, before we do that, I'm going to give you guys a word from Josh Barnett, who's going to break down why it is that we do these notices, the purpose, and how it allows us to take our power back. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Josh Barnett. I'm the U.S. Congressional candidate, District 6 here in Arizona, coming into 2022.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sophia Zori.
I'm here to just talk briefly about affidavits and notices and why we use them, why David Jose and I have been using these in Arizona and Maricopa County to put pressure on the Arizona State Senate and House of Representatives to force a forensic audit.
You know, guys, I got to say real quick, one of the problems that I see with people who are usually politicians is they speak often about the problems. They speak often about getting people jobs and rah, rah, let's go. But they are really not giving people action steps to make change and kick butt and do things that will actually bring forth something good. One thing that I could say about Josh when it comes to the way we think, he is literally a cognition manifestation specialist. I mean, with everything this guy does, he takes what is in his mind and he puts action to it to make things happen. In his gym, he comes up with an idea and a plan, right? A thought process for people. And then he attaches some action. And after he attaches the action, you see a manifestation of results that are unreal. He does this all the time. And he brings this same tenacity and this ability to manifest results to this fight. So I want y'all to continue to listen.
Now, we all have this constitutional right to have our elections audited. It's pretty much clearly written in every state constitution. In Arizona, we have Article 7, Section 7 that clearly says only legal votes should be counted. To toss the illegal ones out, if there's any, toss them out, and let's count just the legal votes. What we're looking at now is we are using these affidavits and notices in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Virginia. We're talking in Michigan tonight. We are working with somebody in Wisconsin. And all we're doing is telling you, listen, it's okay to call your state legislatures and complain. It's okay to email them and complain to them about, or express your grievances to them. Text them if you know them, your friends with them, call them, talk to them. But listen, here's what happens, and we've all seen this and heard this. These people will be like, oh, I don't remember that conversation. I didn't receive that text message. I didn't see that email. So my point is this. What we do with the affidavits is we make sure that they see it. We have them served with this process server. It is tracked, okay? Now, we're putting that grievance or declaring our constitutional rights within these affidavits and notices that clearly shows them what we want, what our rights are, and what we want, and what we demand. Remember, I'm saying we demand not in a condescending way or a mean way. I'm just saying they're our servants. They work for us. They work for the people. It's not the other way around. They work for us, okay? And all we're clearly doing is showing them what their job description is. Your job, the legislature, or anybody holding office, their job description is in the Constitution. In every state, they have their own state constitutions. Basically, your job description is within this, especially in the Declaration of Rights. Okay, in Arizona, it's Article 2. You can look through it. Article 2, Section 2, all power is inherent in the people.
Anyways, fast forward. When I realized the simplicity of how to correct the issues we've been having, and it was through sending notices, I told David, I said, this is pretty simple stuff. Our founding fathers really did a great job in creating a wonderful roadmap for us in the Constitution. All we had to do was use it or look at it, utilize it. So he's like, yeah. And then I said, do you mind if I have a law class at my house? And he said, no. He came. We thought 10 to 15 people were going to come. Almost 50 people showed up, which was a wonderful turnout. And I've been having law classes since. But when we left that first law class, we instructed people on how to, because the masks were a very big issue for us at that time. So everyone wanted to know how to address companies that were violating the law by forcing us to put stuff on us. So we walked out. Most of us wrote a notice to Sprouts because, well, it is our local, supermarket, and they were the ones that were known as like the Nazis of the masks. So we thought, hey, let's all hit them. So we did. We sent notices to the CEO, and then when you send a notice, you by default have to send it to all three branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. So they too realized that these corporations were violating our rights, and we list it or we reference the Constitution where they are violating it. So they caught wind of it. So a few weeks ago, Governor Ducey decided to say that he never really mandated the masks, but it's BS. Of course he did. It's funny. There's actual videos of him saying it, and then he's saying that he never did. And then Sprouts removed their mandate. So I don't know if it was necessarily directly because of us, but I know that those mandates were not removed prior to that. And it took a bunch of us to send it, and collectively we got where we wanted to get, which was removing the masks and the mandate.
Now, okay, I know what's going to happen. People are going to start saying, well, Arizona got a whole bunch of tough people there. It's the Wild Wild West. I bet they still run around on horses with guys with long muskets with powder weapons or whatever, and Native Americans shooting arrows at people. It's crazy out there, and the government just respects them because they're just wild. Well, we're going to go to Minnesota. So here's Minnesota. Neil Johnson, one of the strong fighters. You know, he has a YouTube channel, Lumberjack Logic. He goes and he gives news to everybody about what's going on with the audits and such things around the country. Really good, powerful newsman who is a lover of God, family man. He actually does business as well. So really strong man. Now, what he did was he got a group in Minnesota. He didn't just sit there and wait for things to happen. He decided to get together, get an affidavit going, and actually get the people in his state to take part in the process, and they kicked major butt. Let's see what he says. He says, David, thank you for helping us with the affidavit in Minnesota. After conversation, we produced a video, built a website, fightformn.com, and hundreds of people sent affidavits to our elected representatives. That was 2 weeks ago. And now, oddly enough, the mask mandate is gone. Let it be known, though, that we started with our small group of 5 patriots. We'll not stop there. We want these unconstitutional emergency powers to end forever. So we will continue to fight for the good. Okay, now I got to give another quick shout out to Tracy S. and Roddy Mom. Y'all see them on YouTube videos. They are also part of the team with Neil Johnson, and they kick butt. They wrote affidavits, wrote stuff for new statutes, and got results quick. Now, some people say, we don't know if those things work, but it's funny, after we do them, it just seems to keep erasing corruption. Good stuff. Let's continue. Okay, now I got to give another quick shout out to Tracy S. and Roddy Mom. Y'all see them on YouTube videos. They are also part of the team with Neil Johnson, and they kick butt. They wrote affidavits, wrote stuff for new statutes, and got results quick. Now, some people say we don't know if those things work, but it's funny, after we do them, it just seems to keep erasing corruption. Good stuff. Let's continue.
We know that we are the ones in control. We are the ones that put you in office, and we're the parents, right? We're the parents. And we're granting you authority to handle the people's business, but we can put you in check, just like we would our children. If the kids are acting up, we're going to put them in check. If the legislature's acting up, we're going to put them in check. And we put them in check with affidavits and notices. So what this does, people, is it's a legal binding document. It's self-executing. We don't need to go through the courts. We don't want to do that. You know that. We've seen how trustworthy our judicial system is in the last few years. What we've done is we've been using these to help, again, push this forensic audit. We're going to be using them in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and I'm probably forgetting New Hampshire. I'm probably forgetting a few other states that we have these things rolling. And it's a way to truly, for the people, to take the power back and bring it back to the rightful owners, us, the people. So that's what we're doing. I just wanted to make sure that people understand the power of an affidavit and what it entails. It's with a notary, so you're declaring under penalty of perjury what you're saying stands as true. If they do not rebut your affidavit, it acquiesces and stands as true, and it is upheld in a court. It is a legal binding document, okay? So that's why it's so important to not just call, email, text, everything else to your legislators, but also to put them on in a legal binding way with an affidavit, and or we have people send notices in to teach them, to educate them, because a lot of these legislators honestly don't know. They really truly don't know and understand the rights of the people. And we're trying to do what's best for this country and for the power to be taken back to the people, just like our Constitution is for the power to be in the people's hands. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that power back, and we're going to fight for this country, and we're going to correct and right the wrongs that have happened this last 6 months. God bless everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.
Last year, I went to numerous rallies, numerous protests, heard numerous speakers, and the one that caught my attention the most was David Jose. And the reason for that is because he was teaching us about the Constitution and our rights. And when someone does us wrong, elected officials do us wrong, and how to properly address it. Along with companies that do us wrong or violate our rights by forcing us to do things that we shouldn't be doing, or they have no right to be forcing onto us. So I went home, did a lot more research about him, learned that he was taking businesses that were doing business in the public and moved them into the private, basically business under authority of government to no authority government, or no government authority. So I was intrigued that I opened my own PMA. Anyways, fast forward, when I realized the simplicity of how to correct the issues we've been having, and it was through sending notices, I told David, I said, this is pretty simple stuff. Our founding fathers really did a great job in creating a wonderful roadmap for us in the Constitution. All we had to do was use it, or look at it, utilize it. So he's like, yeah. And then I said, do you mind if I have a law class at my house? And he said, no. He came. We thought 10 to 15 people were going to come. Almost 50 people showed up, which was a wonderful turnout. And I've been having law classes since. But when we left that first law class, we instructed people on how to, because the masks were a very big issue for us at that time. So everyone wanted to know how to address companies that were violating the law by forcing us to put stuff on us. So we walked out. Most of us wrote a notice to Sprouts because, well, it is our local, supermarket, and they were the ones that were known as like the Nazis of the masks. So we thought, hey, let's all hit them. So we did. We sent notices to the CEO, and then when you send a notice, you by default have to send it to all three branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. So they too realized that these corporations were violating our rights, and we list it, or we reference the Constitution where they are violating it. So they caught wind of it, and now we are going to push for the vaccines, and and we're just going to start educating our elected officials that where our rights are. And it is very important, in order to educate the elected officials, is to educate each other, which is why I started offering the law classes here alongside with David Jose. Make sure you sign up.